up? Welcome in to This Week in College Baseball, brought to you by Driving the Line Week 5 edition. My name is Alan Bell, and you know what? We got a fantastic show lined up for you today, so let's not waste any time, man. Let's get right to it. Introduce here the brand new top 25 across the country. Arkansas, welcome to the number 1 spot. All right up there. They move up. LSU, number 2, moves up. In green, teams that are in green, that means that they have moved up in the rankings. Teams that are in red means that they have dropped. Teams in white stay still. And normally we have a blue in there. That means a brand new team, but not this week. Same 25, just different spots. So you see Arkansas, LSU, Oregon State, Texas A&M, Tennessee all move up. Duke as well, number 6. It rounds out your top 6. Wake Forest drops all the way to 7 after tough series there with Duke. Florida, man, this is a tough team here because they're really, really good and they are smashing at the plate, but they're giving up a ton of runs too and just not consistent here. So we're going to see about Florida here. They dropped to number 8. Vandy, Clemson stay the same. East Carolina as well. TCU drops. They lose 2 out of 3. First 2 losses of the year. And it's in there. NC State, Alabama, North Carolina, Coastal Carolina will move up. Virginia drops back 17, about excuse me, that's about perfect for where they need to be. Auburn, Dallas Baptist, South Carolina, Campbell, UC Irvine, and Texas all move up. Texas Tech drops down to 24, and UC Santa Barbara stays at 25. So that's a look at your top 25 there. You know what? Let's break these teams down even more. So first off, let's take a look at the big key weekend series that you need to know about. And it is a monster. Like I said, we are entering phase 2 of college baseball. It is a 6-phase season, all right, to where you start number 1, non-conference tournament play, number 2, conference play, which is what we're entering now, number 3, conference tournaments, number 4, that's when the postseason begins with regionals, number 5, super regionals, and number 6, the College World Series. So we are entering phase 2 here in week 5, and look at it. Number 7, Wake Forest at 17, Virginia. Number 10, Clemson at number 6, Duke. Number 4, Texas A&M at number 8, Florida. Number 18, Auburn at number 9, Vanderbilt. Number 5, Tennessee at 14th ranked Alabama. 15th ranked North Carolina at Miami. 13th ranked NC State at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, a much better team than they get credit for. And number 20, South Carolina at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a better team than people give them credit for. Pay attention to those last 2 of NC State at Georgia Tech, South Carolina at Ole Miss. If you are looking to find maybe some underdogs that will be at some pretty nice juice, there you go. Those 2 teams could be solid right there. So those are the key weekend series. Those are the ranked teams, the big ones that you want to know about. But let's add a new wrinkle this week, all right? Under the radar weekend series that you need to know. And I've highlighted the team to pay attention to and understand, these games start Friday, go Saturday, go Sunday, all right? So, number 1, Notre Dame at Florida State. Notre Dame's a pretty good baseball team, but you're going to get them at Florida State. And the reason that I highlighted it here, Florida State, phenomenal. I can't believe that they're not ranked. I get it with their schedule that they've had. It hasn't been the toughest per se, but still, man, Florida State's a good baseball team. But I say that to say this. The reason that they're highlighted and what you want to pay attention to is that you could catch Florida State likely this weekend at some pretty nice prices. So, again, Notre Dame, Florida State should handle their business. Pay attention to what that looks like. Pay attention, as we always talk about, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These weekend series, college baseball, it's a ping pong sport, right? Good performance Friday, Saturday might not be their day. Sunday, come back strong, right? So pay attention to those 3 games, or really pay attention to Friday, then Saturday, and you can kind of bet accordingly there. So that's why we have Florida State. Number 2, Austin Peay at Lipscomb. So Austin Peay is about right at the state line between Tennessee and Kentucky, which is not far from Nashville of where Lipscomb is, okay? Austin Peay is a phenomenal baseball team that mashes at the plate. So the reason that we have them highlighted here is that you might find some decent prices there with Austin P, with them being on the road against a decent Lipscomb team there. Pay attention there, see what you get, because Austin P could come in and sweep this series with ease. I'm not saying they do, but they could, and you might be able to steal some nice prices there. So pay attention on that one. Austin P will drop bombs too. This team can just absolute mash. Next one, San Francisco at Creighton. So Creighton, obviously, in Omaha. This is going to be played at the big stadium, College World Series edition style. San Francisco, solid baseball team. But that being said, you have road trip. All right. Could be a little tough weekend here for San Francisco. Just pay attention to Creighton. Pay attention to what you get price-wise on Friday in that game. And specifically, watch for this, because that stadium in Omaha is huge. All right. It's what we see in the College World Series. See as many home runs. You don't see as many runs scored. Obviously, you have good teams, top 8 teams, left of the country, but it is a big ass stadium, right? So pay that, because as of late, the ball has been flying out of there. So just note that. Pay attention. You might see some totals that you could take advantage of, and then you might see Creighton again with some prices that look good to you. Last one, California at Oregon. Kind of the same deal. California, decent baseball team. Oregon can be a really good baseball team at times. Not as consistent as we would like them to be, but they're pretty good. And they don't give up at the plate late in games. We've already bet on the Ducks multiple times and had multiple comebacks. You don't always want to do that. You don't want to risk it there, having to play comeback every single game. But Oregon, man, they don't die. Watch for that. Just see what you get on Friday. See what you get in the game. See what run totals look like, and see what the juice looks like on Oregon. All right. So those are the under the radar, and there are plenty more. We'll start to add more and more, but I just wanted to highlight 4 there of where you might be able to find discrepancies of how good these highlighted teams are. And the books might not throw heavy juice that you have to pay at them. So just keep an eye on it, and we'll go from there. All right. So team leaders here, and we're going to start to add in, after we get 1-2 weekends of full conference play, we'll drop in pitchers in regards to knowing the aces that you need to know, knowing the number 2s, number 3s, the pitching staffs. We'll get into all that. Also, how to find, rosters when they come out, starting pitchers, etc. But once, we kind of get a week or 2 or weekend or 2 under our belts in conference play, teams, number 1 on Friday, number 2 on Saturday, number 3 on Sunday, gets very consistent. So we will let that align itself. It'll break it down. But let's take a look here. Home runs. Georgia is mashing the just piss out of the ball. I hate to use that word on here, but they are just hitting missiles left and freaking right. Look out for Georgia. And we'll talk about their run totals here shortly, but they are mashing. Number 2, Tennessee, the exact same thing. Go look at how many home games they've played in a row. You rarely see teams that get that kind of love, but Tennessee mashing at the plate. Their run totals are super high as well. Duke with 39. Coastal Carolina with 36. Notre Dame with 36. Like we just talked about, Notre Dame's a good baseball team. They can mash for sure. So can Florida State. All right, pitching. Look at this, dude. All right. The number beside it is the opponent's batting average cumulative this season. Texas A&M, other teams are hitting 179. It's insane, man. Like, they're just not giving up runs at all. South Carolina, 187. Arkansas, 191. Duke, 192. East Carolina, 196. These teams are teams that we've been betting on all year. You've seen it. You know it. They don't give up a ton of hits, ton of runs. You see it right there, man. These pitching staffs are insane. Texas A&M, my God, this team is on absolute fire, which leads us exactly to that. So here's our rotation. So we have team, win-loss on the season, their runs per game offensively, all right, on average per game this year, runs per game that they've allowed this year, cumulative on average, right? And then how they did last week in week 4. So pay attention here. Look, TCU, first 2 losses of the year this past weekend. Duke was 3-1. Florida, talked about, man. Consistency, tough to find. 2-2. Tennessee, 16-1. They go 5-0 over the week. This team is just mashing teams. Texas A&M, 16-0. 10 runs per game on average and only giving up 2.1. So once you start to see totals come out more and more, man, pay attention to that. Run lines as well. Tennessee and Texas A&M are both phenomenal options there because money line prices are going to be just through the damn roof. All right, you see Auburn went 3-1 this week. You see Alabama went 4-0, 15-1 on the year, 10.4 runs per game on average, only giving up 3.8. Alabama's a good baseball team. We're going to see them in Tennessee this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Can't wait. You see Santa Barbara went 4-0. They're 9-5 on the year. They went 4-0. That's why we were all over, betting this team. 8.5 runs per game. You see there. Clemson, we haven't bet Clemson in a little while. And nothing wrong with them. We're just not getting them on the books. They're 13-1 on the year, went 4-0 last week. Runs per game allowed, getting a little high there. Keep an eye on that. Oregon State, we've bet the hell out of them, 15-1. They went 4-0 this past week. It's an excellent baseball team. Absolutely excellent, fundamentally sound, averaging 9.7 runs per game. We'll give it up 4. This solid baseball team. And Coastal Carolina, we love Coastal Carolina. 14-2 on the year, went 5-0 past weekend there. 11.8 runs per game. They are absolutely smashing at the plate. They are an absolutely fun team. Not a lot of people really bet them except us. And it has paid off nicely because Coastal Carolina is so underrated every single year. Only giving up 4.6 runs per game on average. And brings us to the final part, the scouting department. So this is kind of our backup rotation, our bullpen rotation. And you'll see some teams on there, not like we found Arkansas, Diamond in the Rough, the number 1 team in the country, but I want to keep tabs on them because it's tough to bet them with juices so high every single time. But look how damn good this team is. 13-2, 8 runs per game on average, only giving up 3. They can do it all. They're a phenomenal and well-coached baseball team. Texas Tech, falling a little bit here, but it's okay. They're good. They can hit. They can score runs. You see it there, 12 runs per game. They are giving up 6, but they are, like, once we get totals going, that's a team that you can play overs on because it's just Mash City on both sides. Vanderbilt, 14-3, getting better. Vanderbilt's getting absolutely better. And pay attention with Vanderbilt to stolen bases. They have multiple dudes that get on first, Hostler taking second. Like, that's what this team does. Tim Corbin, his style, fundamentally sound. Vanderbilt's getting better by the week. Florida State, 14-0. I don't know how they aren't ranked. Scoring 12 runs per game on average and only giving up 3.4. Again, I understand their strength of schedule hasn't been phenomenal, but my God, this team is good. So fascinated to see what they have. Pay attention there with Notre Dame. All right. Pittsburgh, 8-4. We've had some fun with Pittsburgh, but I don't know. I don't feel good necessarily with where they're at. I want to see them get a little bit better before we start betting on them again. Louisiana Tech, solid club. We'll see. Keep an eye on them. 13-3 on the year. Solid 8.3 runs per game. Only giving up 4.1. Obviously not bad. Just keep an eye on there. Georgia, like we said, 16-1, almost 11 runs per game on average. Home runs constantly. They give it up 4.5 per game. Georgia is a solid baseball team. In Kentucky, 13-3, 7.1 runs per game, give it up 4. Like to see a little more run production at the plate, but again, they've been nice, man. They have been nice. They have been undervalued from the books. There you go. So that is all the time that we have for today in this week in college baseball, week 5 edition. Tune in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Driving the Line, we will obviously be all over college baseball picks and breaking them all down, but just wanted to get some information there for you, and we'll keep adding week by week. And again, this is a show where you can come back to it, come look at the data, come look at the numbers, and take down your rotations, your bullpen rotations, teams that you like, right? That's what it's all about, man. So it's going to be a fun weekend. Until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow.